Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of The Mistake Zone, your weekly dose of our lives and the mistakes within them. My name is Jaren Wade. Joining me, as always, one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Matt Alba. Hey, Matt.
Yo.
How are you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good.
Matt, it's great. We're coming at you, our friends, kind of from the past right now, because Matt, you are currently in Japan having a blast. So I hope, Matt.
Hopefully.
Matt, predictions time. What do you think you're doing right now?
Ooh, I think hopefully I'm in Sapporo, and maybe I successfully got my it's like a milk chocolate cookie thing that I wanted to buy while I was there, or white chocolate.
Alrighty.
Oh man,
Matt, for all our Vault episodes, such as this one, such as I'm guessing last week's Sakura episode, Matt, this bit I hope doesn't get old because I enjoy it. But since we're here coming at you from the vault, this will be, kind of would you say, I wouldn't say specialized episode, but a more focused episode that, hopefully you can just throw on when you're doing your chores, out and about. But Matt, even though this might not be a regular episode, you know what time it is? Matt, that was a weird delivery for me, but Matt, it's Jaren's Kira Sparkling Water review. And I know I've talked to you about this in the past, Matt, just because, again, we're recording in the past, but we're releasing these in the future. And in terms of my power ranking logistics, not the best mix, Matt, not the best mix, but we're trying to work through it, and I think I'm going to be cheating this week because friends who frequently keep up with, our lives and the mistakes within them know I've discussed this sparkling water before on the episode. So again, not a little cheating, but I am talking about the President's Choice Blue Menu, Calamansi Citrus, and Strawberry Sparkling Water. Matt, this was part of that weird, I guess, Filipino fusion line that PC had, I believe it was this past summer or so. And I believe it was only this and the taro boba pie that kind of survived the purge. And yeah, so I'm drinking, again, the Calamansi Citrus and Strawberry Sparkling Water, which I've had numerous times before, but for your listening pleasure. Matt, I think this flavor in particular is a strange one for me, just because I don't think I necessarily taste the calamansi. I don't necessarily taste the strawberry, but I don't actually know what I'm tasting, but if I had to be completely honest, it's one of the more refreshing sparkling waters that I've drank to date, where I couldn't tell you where the citrus is. I couldn't tell you where the strawberry is. Definitely no calamansi, but I just like the flavor. This unknown flavor. Matt, this is essentially the mystery Skittle of sparkling water. And I know that sounds like kind of a cop-out, but this is honestly my favorite sparkling water beverage. So I have to put it to number one. Again, playing it safe right now.
Oh, man.
Where, I don't know, Matt, I have multiple cases of this in our basement. Whenever we go out and there's a deal on sparkling water and we need to stock up on extra ones, I always gravitate towards this flavor for some reason. Again, it seems like a mystery flavor where I'll give it one more sip, Matt. Yeah, if I had this out of nowhere, I wouldn't be able to tell you that this was like calamansi, citrus, or strawberry reminiscent, but I just enjoy it, Matt. It's hashtag flavor. Hashtag delicious. Hashtag not an ad. Hashtag not sponsored. But Matt, I
Hmm.
don't know. Maybe next time I see you, I'll bring you a can and maybe you can confirm if I'm insane or not. But I enjoy this, Matt. I
Nice.
enjoy the President's Choice Blue Menu, Calamansi, citrus, and strawberry sparkling water, despite it not. Matt, this might be false advertising,
Uh,
but I'm still enjoying it. But
hmm
you know what else I enjoy, Matt?
What, Jaren?
The element of choice. Because Matt, we told our friends specially episode. You said it, no breaks, Matt. So we're
Hmm
just gonna plow right into it.
hmm
I think one of the mainstays of the Splatoon franchise is obviously the Splatfests. These are, I guess, semi-regular events that has all our Squid Kid friends essentially partaking in a civil war of sorts,
hmm
rallying behind one of their chosen idols to pick one of two, or I guess in the case of Splatoon 3, one of three choices. You pick a choice, you pick what team you want to be part of, and you go to war for that duration. And by the end of it, you get some shells and bragging rights, more or less, Matt.
hmm
Where before we get into kind of the bulk of the episode where we go through the previous Splatfest and pick, which one we might have picked back in the day, which one we would pick now, and kind of discuss who the winners were. But just that, since I want to kind of keep it on video games, Matt,
hmm
I was going to ask you, do you like the idea of Splatfest? But I think that we kind of answered that in doing this episode. But do you think the spirit of Splatfest is kind of lost by Splatoon 3, where I feel like, do you think people are still picking what they like, or do you think there's now, or it's become more of a meta aspect where we might see people kind of flocking towards not necessarily an option they like, but one that's most likely to win? And how do you feel about how they've been trying to balance that, potential change in choice?
I mean, I think the longer a particular Splatoon game goes on, the more likely people are just going to meta pick what they think is the going to be the winner, Jaren.
Hmm.
I think the closer you are to the start of a Splatoon game, the more pure of a, a Splatfest you're going to have,
Right, right.
where people are, picking truly what's in their heart instead of using their gamer brain to win.
Matt,
Hmm
does the meta ruin everything? Is meta anti-fun?
Jaren, I think there's like a very popular quote that goes around on the internet where it's something like, given the chance, gamers will optimize the fun out of a video game.
Right.
And Jaren, I think that's very true. I know that I particularly, Jaren, I I know that I can say that I am a tier list whore. So
Yep. Yep.
I'll always look those up. Make sure that I'm optimizing as much of the fun as I can into game to make sure I'm doing everything as cleanly as I can, as efficiently as I can.
Matt, you know me. I'm someone who likes to partake in, let's say, a lot of gotcha games.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the number one, piece of advice I see in a respective gotcha message board that I play is, hey, you should always, since it's really, unless you're a really big whale, unless you're spending a lot of money, you probably won't be able to compete in a PvP level. So
Mm-hmm.
at that point, you should really gravitate towards, your favorites, your waifu, so to say,
Uh huh.
where you should be picking waifu over meta. And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it says about me, but I always save my pulls for the meta units,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
where Nike, Goddess of Victory,
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing that frequently. I brought it up in the past, where the last few gotchas, or the main gotchas, character designs that I thought, hey, those are nice looking characters. I wouldn't mind pulling for them, but I always wait for someone in depth to break down the numbers, to do a kind of analysis of these characters, and I need to see, Matt, are they
Mm-hmm.
meta?
Mm-hmm.
Can they help me push PvP or some of the raid content? Even though I'm not trying to rank high, will they help me push it to the best of my abilities? No. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to save for one of the more meta defining or game breaking Nikkei. And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in my sick gamer brain, I tend to favor the characters that are meta in that, oh, this character's meta? Hey, maybe this is my waifu equivalent
Uh-huh.
in this
Uh-huh.
game for obvious reasons. But Matt,
Mm-hmm.
let's try to step away from our meta brains right now
Mm-hmm.
and step back to a simpler time, Matt, to, as you said, when Splatoon is more or was more pure for us. So, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, I guess we're both looking at the Splatoon 1 Splatfest right now and breaking them down. We're seeing the Splatfest for North America, for Europe, and for Japan. And for the most part, I think we discussed earlier that we'll focus mainly on North America. But
Mm-hmm.
if the equivalent European or Japanese Splatfest might have had either a better choice or an interesting choice, we'll kind of peek at that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
let's start off the very first Splatfest, the classic cats versus dogs. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
did you partake? Do you remember partaking in the Splatfest? And how do you think this compares to European and Japan Splatfests?
I do remember taking part in this Splatfest, and Jaren, of
Mhm.
course, I was Team Dog.
Of course, same Matt, same.
I honestly, Jaren, usually when Europe and Japan have different Splatfest themes, it
Mhm.
is usually because like, oh, the theme for the North American one, or I guess like any of the other ones, was very, I don't know, culturally specific.
Right.
So I'm very surprised that Cats and Dogs wasn't a consistent one across all three, what do you call it? I guess environments.
Yeah. For reference for European, we had rock versus pop, as in music genre, and for Japan, we had rice versus bread.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
so we're both dog boys. Dog won this Splatfest. We were on
Yeah.
the winning team. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's obvious. But
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
not really. I probably would have skipped a rock versus pop one, but
Mm-hmm.
I think since we're both Asian, of course, Matt.
Uh-huh.
Matt,
Uh-huh.
let's look at Japan. Where do you fall between rice and bread?
Jaren, I of course I have to go with Team Rice.
Yeah, yeah, Matt. I
Mm-hmm.
love me some carbs. Where
Uh-huh.
I think we've had the thought experiment before where if the choice was, would you rather give up rice? I mean, carbs or
Mm-hmm.
dairy?
Mm-hmm.
I think you and me both agreed that we'd give up dairy in a heartbeat because
Yeah.
Matt, love me
Mm-hmm.
some carbs, love me some bread, but I think that's just in our nature growing up as Filipino Asian kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Though we love rice, man. I love me some good rice, whether it be just, fresh white rice, multi-grain wild rice, fried rice, Matt. Love
Mm-hmm.
me some rice.
Mm-hmm.
And rice did win over bread. Not gonna lie, Matt. Do love me some pan though. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
how much pan are you going to eat in Japan? Or are you eating currently in Japan right now?
Jaren, I don't actually know. I'm planning to if we're close to one and it's efficient or like like easy to get to, I want to hit up a lot of kind of just like Japanese bread shops.
Okay.
But I might be hitting my carb fill because me and Rakush agreed to just go ham on croquettes while we're in Japan.
Point taken. Point taken. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take the first Japanese Splatfest, rice versus bread.
Yeah.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
say this was Splatoon 3 and it was rice, bread, and noodles. Which team would you join?
I think I'd still be Team Rice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I think noodles are probably my favorite actual food. So I think if noodles was a choice, I think I have to join Team Noodle, Matt.
Mm.
I love me a good noodle.
I can see
But
that. Mm-hmm.
let's put this in the books, Matt. Team Dog
Team
for
Dog.
the mistake zone. Moving on to the second one. for North America's Splatfest. It was roller coasters versus water slides. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly I don't think I took part in this Splatfest, but for your choice, did you? Which one did you pick, or would you have picked?
This one I still do remember. I did pick Team Water Slide on this one.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I also would have picked Team Water Slide. I think, in terms of my childhood nostalgia, I have a lot more attachment to water slides than I do of
Mm-hmm.
roller coasters.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, are
Mm-hmm.
you a roller coaster boy?
No, Jaren, I am not at all a roller coaster boy, which is why I picked Team Water Slide.
Same, Matt. Not I. I like to big myself up that I'm a roller coaster boy, but I I think the number of times I've been on a roller coaster was I can probably count on one hand. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
water slides, Matt, growing up, Ontario Place, good times. Those are
Mm-hmm.
some fond memories. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Europe right now for their second Spot Fest, and I think this is the interesting one of the three, to be honest.
Yes.
Eating versus sleeping. Matt,
Jaren, uh-huh.
what team are you on?
Jaren, this is a legitimately hard one, I
You
think.
saying?
This is like I scanned the list and I remember seeing this and I think this is the most divisive one
Yeah,
for me.
because Matt,
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many times in a week, like per week, that I either say out loud, hey, I like, something associated with eating, or I like sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be sleeping for real or naps. But not
Uh-huh.
if you had to join one, if you were drafted into the front lines for European Spot Fest,
Uh-huh.
which team are you joining?
I think I'm team eat here.
Yeah, I think I have to go with team eating. Team eating won, but
Mm-hmm.
I think as much as I love sleeping, as much as I love naps, I do like eating that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just the social aspect as well that kind of edges it over for me. But I love me a good nap, man.
Mm-hmm.
Love me a good
Mm-hmm.
nap.
Same, same.
Moving on, the third Splatfest for Splatoon 1, marshmallows versus hot dogs. Matt,
Jaren,
what team are you?
Jaren, I was team hot dogs here, but I do remember when this one went live and everybody being like, "Why are these two up against each other?"
Matt, this is a bad matchup. This
Uh-huh.
is a real bad matchup. And honestly, I'm trying to look at all the three right now. I think Europe also had a bad matchup. North Pole versus South Pole. Matt, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the worst of the three.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take nonsense marshmallow versus hot dogs over North Pole versus South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Splatfest for Japan, lemon tea versus milk tea. Matt, I think
Mm-hmm.
this one, just looking at it, I think this one is obviously one sided, where I think I do have. When looking at all three, I think I appreciate the pure chaos of marshmallow versus hot dog. So,
Uh-huh.
Matt,
Uh-huh.
what team are you on?
I'm team
Oh,
milk
I
tea.
think you said hot dog.
Oh,
I
sorry.
too am on team hot dog. Matt, we lost this battle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
lost
That
against
is wild. That is
marshmallows.
insane. That is the craziest thing, Jared.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
how do you like your hot dogs?
Jared, I kind of like what condiments I like on it, or
Yeah.
mm,
Or even a type of hot dog.
I mean, Jared, I like me a good like just standard hot dog. Jared, I think I'm like one of probably the few people who prefers a standard hot dog over like a Italian or Polish or whatever kind of sausage.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to hot dogs versus sausage, I think that would have been a better matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of consuming, say, a sauce, like, a meat cylinder in a
Uh-huh.
bun,
Uh-huh.
I think I do prefer a traditional hot dog. To me, I associate sausage, whether, especially like Italian sausage, with either pasta or pizza in that
Mm-hmm.
regard.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, speaking about, Pawn and just Asian bakeries, those are normal hot dogs in those
Uh-huh.
breads.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I think in terms of handheld, encased in bread, I have to go with hot dogs as well in
Mm-hmm.
terms of my preference. Condiment wise, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm scanning the list real quick just to see if it's here. But on your hot dog, since I don't think I see it,
Uh huh.
are you a ketchup and mustard boy or?
I like ketchup, mustard, mayo, relish. Like I like the works. If they have grilled pickles, oh, Jaren. Or not grilled pickles, grilled onions. Grilled
Yeah,
pickles would
grilled
probably be
onions.
good too, though. But yeah.
I think when I used to frequent the hot dog cart near work, my
Uh huh.
go-to would be usually barbecue sauce, mayo, no, barbecue sauce. But if yeah, and I do like me some sauerkraut. I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, the sauteed onions if they had it, or their onion variation. But
Mhm.
that's mostly me, Matt. Obviously, whenever I stop by a Costco, gotta pick me up one of their hot dogs. I mean, that's tradition at this point. You have to.
Mhm. Mhm.
But moving on, Matt, to the next Splatfest, we have, I think this was the first collaboration one in Autobots versus Decepticons from Transformers. I definitely
Mhm.
didn't partake in this one, Matt.
This was the last one I remember doing
Okay,
in Splatfest. Yeah.
that's fair enough. Which one did you pick, Matt?
Jaren, I picked Decepticons because
Okay.
I can't be one of those good kids that are picking Autobots.
So you were on the winning team.
Uh
Matt,
huh.
I
Uh
think
huh.
I would have picked Decepticons as well if I chose this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm surprised that none of the others regions had a collaboration or a quote unquote licensed one because with Europe we have singing and dancing,
Mhm.
and then with Japan we have grasshopper versus ant. So
Mhm.
not really going to touch those ones. But Matt,
Mhm.
moving on, we have art versus science.
Yes.
And Matt, which one would have you chose?
Jaren, I am a STEM kid, so I feel like I would have been obligated to pick science.
Fair enough, Matt. I think I would have picked art if I participated in this.
Mhm.
Art was the victor here. Matt,
Mhm.
one thing that just occurred to me.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at art versus science right now. Art, their color was a purple, and science, their color was, the golden orange type color.
Mhm.
Do you agree with those color schemes?
Now that you're bringing it up, I honestly think they should have been reversed.
Really?
Yeah.
I think art is fine purple, but if I was going to do a science, I think, do you associate green or blue with sciences?
Oh, yeah. Like I can definitely see that as well. Yeah, a green or a blue.
Where I think if art kept purple, I would have thought science as a green, but um, yeah, I think blue too would have worked for science. So weird color choice. Well, not the
Mhm.
sun is also gold, so maybe that's what it represents.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh, let's compare it to Europe and Japan, Matt.
Mhm.
For Europe, it was messy versus tidy.
Uh-huh.
Matt, what team are you?
Jared, obviously messy boy.
My desk is a mess right now, so I too am a messy boy.
Mhm.
And then we have Airhead versus Wisecracker for Japan. Matt,
Mhm.
Wisecracker won, but I think personally I would have probably picked Team Airhead.
I think I'm gonna pick Team Wisecracker.
Matt, you're more witty than I am, and I'm kind of an airhead, so that's fair, Matt. That's fair.
Mhm. Mhm.
Matt,
Uh-huh.
let's go to the next one. Cars versus planes, with cars taking the win in North America. Um, Matt, I probably would have picked Team Cars.
I think honestly, Sharon, I think I would have initially picked Team Planes, but when I gave it more thought, I should have picked Cars.
Yep.
But I think I would
Okay.
have ended up Team Planes at the initial if I were to take part in this real Splatfest.
Fair enough, Matt. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
since you're in Japan right now, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think I asked you before, but you know what? I'll ask you again. Matt, what did you do on the plane on your way there?
Sharon, I think I was playing Unicorn Overlord, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Fair enough, Matt. Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
demo came out. Remember when you talked about that a few weeks ago?
Uh-huh, definitely do, definitely do. So it was a demo.
Thanks, Matt. Oh man. it still trips me out that the first time I flew back from Japan, I didn't sleep at all on the plane, and I'm not sure how I stayed alive that whole time. I'll tell you how I stayed alive, Matt. Watching all three John Wick movies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Funny enough, for this round of Splatfest, Europe finally got cats versus dogs. Matt, cats won in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I guess Europe is a cat region,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, squids versus octopus for Splatfest Japan. Matt, I think that happened a lot earlier than I would have expected for a Japan Splatfest. Team
Mm-hmm.
Squid won for that
Mm-hmm.
one as well. Matt, moving on to the classic, the next North American Splatfest. This was the classic. And Matt, do you
Mm-hmm.
remember growing up with the internet and seeing pirates versus ninjas frequent on the game FAQ message boards that we were
Uh-huh.
on?
Uh-huh.
And that,
Mm-hmm.
needless to say, I'm Team Ninja.
Yeah, I'm also Team Ninja.
We lost the Splatfest, Matt, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a safe space, right, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I don't like pirates. I
I
think the
uh-huh.
pirate aesthetic is not for me. I apologize because I know you, Kevin, always tried to get me to play Sea of Thieves. Never did. Never
Uh-huh.
finished Ass Creed Black Flag, despite it being a solid entry in the franchise. Man, I just don't feel pirates. Um,
Oh man.
I have no. Uh, was that latest Ubisoft
Oh,
pirate
Skull and
game?
Bones? You're not
Have
gonna
no
Jared,
intention to play Skull and
you're
Bones.
not gonna
Not a
take part
pirate
in
boy.
quadruple A video gaming?
Matt, that's too many A's for me. That's too many A's for me.
Mm-hmm.
But looking on to the other Spotfest for this round, we have Zombies versus Ghost in Europe. Ghost took the dub.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Love versus Money in Japan, with Love taking the W right there. I do love
Mm-hmm.
me a romantic anime, Matt.
Jared, but I love me some money.
Oh, Matt, I too love me some money. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
man. I have a story I don't feel comfortable telling you on air just
Okay.
because it might be, let's just say, involve purchasing digital currency
Oh
from
no.
another region.
Uh-huh.
So we'll leave it at that. But Matt,
Uh-huh.
for the next NA Spotfest, we have burgers versus pizza. Now, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I I love me some pizza, but I told you that noodles was my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I think burgers is my number two, Matt. I love
Ooh.
me a good burger. I am a burger boy, and if I were partaking in Spotfest, I would have been Team Burger. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
where do you fall between these two choices?
I think I would have been Team Pizza.
Ah, Pizza
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
what? Okay, two pizza related questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
One, what's your go to pizza, I guess, toppings? And follow up question,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think is the ideal amount of toppings on a pizza?
I think that my go-to pizza of choice is always a thick crust, and I don't know. Actually, depending on the mood, it's either going to be like a Hawaiian style pizza or a vegetarian style pizza.
Right.
And I think the most toppings that you should have on like a singular pizza is probably four. To be
Okay.
honest, I
I
think
think
once you
four's
get
fair,
past
man.
that, yeah, I think once you get past that, you're getting too much dilution of your ingredients, or you're putting too much stuff onto the pizza itself.
Right. Matt,
Hmm.
where do you fall on cold pizza?
I don't like it, Jared.
Really? Okay.
Hmm.
Fair enough, Matt. I
Hmm.
don't mind me a cold pizza, but while we're talking about pizza, we have to have the discussion. Matt, we need to share our life hacks. How do you reheat your pizza?
Jared, I now more recently use the air fryer,
Mm-hmm.
but I did definitely go through that phase of just like pan toasting the pizza,
Yep.
and that, like, I guess, like, slight time of French toasting my pizza.
Ooh. Can you tell us more about this French toast method, Matt?
There was like it's basically like you know how to make like French toast, Jared, right? It's like
Yep.
milk, egg, and then the kind of like sugars and stuff into it. it's kind of the similar thing where it's milk and like some egg, but you're putting in more savory ingredients into there. Whether it's stuff like like chili pepper or I like to put like more garlic into there or something. Things that add more like paprika, like stuff that adds more, I guess like more spice style flavors.
This is honestly the first time I've heard about a French toast pizza
Oh,
variation, and I'm curious now, Matt. I'm
mm-hmm,
curious
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty
because
good.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I made French toast the other week, and I realized, wow, I don't know how to properly make French
Oh
toast.
no.
But
Mm-hmm.
speaking about warming up pizza, I too am an air fry boy now, but I did have that one period where I would do the pan fry trick where you put,
Mm.
a bit of water to steam up, you cover it up just to get the top part a bit melty,
Yeah.
but trying to perfect that, Matt, where the first few attempts at that put too much water, had
Soggy pizza.
kind of a soggy bottom.
Uh-huh.
Not still ate it, Matt. Still ate it because I have. I'm not above that. I'm not throwing out
Uh-huh.
pizza.
Uh-huh.
Matt, going to
Mm.
Europe, their Splatfest for this round was delicious versus disgusting.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I, I don't know, Matt. What does this even mean, Matt? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm missing some context here.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Japan, we have land food versus seafood. Oh, that one's actually kind of tough for me.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm land food there, to be honest.
I do love me some seafood, but yeah, Matt, I think in terms of topping, I feel like I do eat land food more than I do eat seafood.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing by one side being red and the other side being green, this was the Christmas event.
Yes.
And we have naughty versus nice.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
naughty one.
Uh-huh.
Matt,
That makes sense. Uh-huh.
are you a naughty boy?
Jonathan, to be honest, I think I would have picked nice.
Fair enough, Matt. Fair
Uh-huh.
enough. Matt, I probably
Uh-huh.
would have picked that nice too. Damn.
Nice.
You know what they say, Matt? You know
Mm-hmm.
what they say. Going on to Europe. We have get fit versus get rich.
Uh-huh. Jared,
Matt,
I think I'd get rich.
oh man, Matt.
Jared, that
I
is
do like
that is
money.
that
I do like
mhm.
money.
Jared, get rich is basically the catchphrase of payday too.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
if we really want to get into it, I think if you got rich, you can probably get fit too.
Uh-huh.
So, uh interestingly enough, this round of Splatfest was a repeat for Japan with red kitsune udon versus green tanuki soba.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that udon won the first time this was around. This was their second Splatfest as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this time soba won. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think this was Japan trying to balance it out?
Jared, the Soba Boys had to get revenge.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
are you telling me that udon people have dropped Splatoon over the course of these Splatfests?
Jaren, you know what? I think the udon people were maybe just too confident. And they were overconfident and that's why they lost. Or that's my
Okay.
narrative, Jaren.
Point taken. Matt, that's a fair narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on for North America, we have past versus future with the past winning, Matt. Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
does the future scare you?
No, Jared, I think here I would have picked Future.
Okay. Yeah, I think given the time of Splatoon, I think I probably would have picked future as well. But as I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting old and Matt,
Uh-huh.
let's just say 2004, Jaren's probably on Team Past. And whenever this
Uh,
first came up, that Jaren was probably Team Future. Sorry, that Jaren.
oh, man.
Matt, ninjas appeared again in Europe with Barbarians versus Ninjas. Barbarian won.
Mm-hmm.
And for Japan, we had Perfect Body versus Perfect Mind. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm not going to make that comment. Let's move on.
Uh-huh.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the first time that all three regions more or less aligned. And we have the Battle of Pokemon, Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue, or if you're in Japan, Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Green. Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think this is the main event.
Uh-huh.
Matt, which team would have you picked? And does that team correspond with which version kid you were growing up?
Yeah, I would have picked Pokemon Red because that is the version I started on, and I like Charizard over Blastoise.
Matt, I think I've told this story on air plenty of times. I too was a Pokemon Red growing up.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first Game Boy game our mother bought us for our red Game Boy Pocket. And that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I specifically remembered telling my siblings when we were picking out which version to get. Matt chalked this up to dumb kid Jaren,
Uh
but I
huh.
specifically remember us standing in the EB games in the Aaron Mills Town Center as youths,
Uh huh.
and me straight up telling my brother and sister, hey, we should get Pokemon Red because our Game Boy Pocket is red and we'll probably see color because they're both red.
Good logic. Good logic.
That we lost the war. We not
Uh
only did
huh.
we lose the Splatfest in North America,
Mm-hmm.
we lost the Splatfest in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and we lost the Splatfest in Japan.
Yep. Yep.
Matt,
Yep.
as a Pokemon Red boy, how does it feel going 0 and 3?
You know what, Jared? I Red's the one who was the champion in Pokemon Gold and Silver, so gotta take our wins where we can get them.
Yeah. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
between Red the champion, Blue Gary, and Green, do you have a preferred Pokemon trainer?
I mean, I think it's just Red because like that's such a nostalgic one
Mhm.
for me. So it's nice to see Red at the end of Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Agreed, Matt. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
But my preferred trainer is Pokemon is Green for obvious reasons. And
Obviously,
moving on,
obviously.
Matt.
Uh-huh.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
Snowman versus Sandcastle. Sandcastle takes the dub here.
Mm-hmm.
Which team are you on, Matt?
Jaren, I think I would have been Team Snowman.
Matt, we're from Canada. We live in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I've built way more snowmen than I have sandcastles. Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as a Canadian boy,
Mm-hmm.
nothing pleases me more than when I'm driving during winter and I
Mm-hmm.
just see giant snowballs
Yeah.
on the in kids' yards. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
when kids are playing with snow, I feel good
Mm-hmm.
because I know
Mm-hmm.
they're enjoying themselves and I
Mm-hmm.
hate snow. Now, did I tell you this story on air before? I'm going to
Mm.
tell it again because, trying to take up time. But my partner and I were driving home one evening and, we're driving in our neighborhood and she all of a sudden goes, oh my God. And
Uh-huh.
I stop, pump the brakes. Luckily, no one was behind me.
Uh-huh.
I'm shook at this point. I'm like, what happened? Was I about to hit someone?
Mm-hmm.
Was there an accident?
Uh-huh.
And she goes, oh no, that little girl's sitting on top of her snowman and waving to us. And
Nice.
that
Nice. Uh-huh.
I looked to our left, and sure enough, there was a little girl sitting on top of her snowman waving to us.
Nice.
She was enjoying themselves, so we waved back, of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the sandcastles, which I
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
mentioned. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
hoverboards versus jetpacks for Europe. Hoverboards taking the W.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
are you team hover? Okay, when you see team hoverboard versus team jetpack, which hoverboard are you thinking of? Are you thinking Back to the Future, or are you thinking what we perceive as hoverboard in, I guess, late 20s?
Oh,
Or
obviously, Back to the Future hoverboard.
yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mhm.
iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in what we now perceive as hoverboards?
No, but I wanna ride one. I'm just Jaren. We're old, and I'm scared
Yep.
I'm gonna hurt myself.
Fair, Matt, I'm always scared I'm gonna hurt myself.
Mm-hmm.
For Japan, we have Show No Mercy versus Focus on Healing. I think this is some man. I think this is some wow bullshit that I'm too cool for. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Jen, as a support boy, I think I would have had to pick
Yeah,
Focus
same.
on Healing.
As a support boy, I would go Focus on Healing. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
being DPS scares too much pressure. Matt,
Mhm.
being a tank scares me the most, though.
I like tanking in traditional MMO.
Oh man, I think back to our WoW days where when I played Pally and we didn't have a proper tank some nights, and I tried to tank. Didn't work out too well those nights. That didn't
Mm-hmm.
work out. I guess this was our next collaboration, a Splatfest, and we have that
Mm-hmm.
same thing for North America and Europe. Same results too. We have Team SpongeBob versus Team Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I love SpongeBob growing up. It used to be back when SpongeBob first debuted and wasn't necessarily being shown in Canada. I would love going to my relatives in New Jersey just to watch a few episodes when that happened. But
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
which team are you on?
I think I'm also Team Patrick here.
Matt, as
Mm-hmm.
someone with a email, both a Hotmail and a Gmail from my childhood that has a play on SpongeBob, you know I have to be Team
Uh-huh.
SpongeBob.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, Matt.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Speaking about this round of Splatfest,
Mm-hmm.
with you being in Japan right now,
Mm-hmm.
are you team tuna and mayonnaise or are you team red salmon?
I am definitely Team Red Salmon.
Matt, I love me some good red salmon
Mm-hmm.
onigiri. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
how much onigiri have you eaten on this trip in Japan?
Ooh, probably quite a bit at this point, actually.
I love me some onigiri.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I love me some red salmon variation.
Mm-hmm.
Not, but I do like a good tuna and mayonnaise. But if I
Mm-hmm.
had to pick red salmon,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we're also Fast and Furious boys, and tuna mayo is a special place in our. I'm assuming the Japanese Splatfest was for onigiri purposes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but Matt,
Actually, you know what? If it was a sandwich instead of an onigiri, I think I would have picked tuna mayonnaise.
I would have too. I would have too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming this is totally onigiri, but tuna
Mm-hmm.
mayo over salmon sandwich. But
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we have fancy party versus costume party for North America.
Uh-huh.
Um, Matt,
Uh-huh.
honestly, I think Team Fancy Party won this,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm Team Fancy Party.
Ooh, Jaren, I would have been Team Costume Party.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
because Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I associate fancy parties more so with weddings, and when what Matt,
Uh-huh.
you know what I associate with weddings?
Huh.
Me eating a lot. Maybe I should. That's why I'm team eating, and I think that's why I gravitate towards fancy parties.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
Mistake Zone costume party 2024. What costume are you going as?
Jaren, a mistake so costume party seems like so much work. I don't know, Jared. I honestly, Jaren, have no idea what I would pick for a mistake zone costume party.
Oh man, Matt, I remember there was a good run where I was really into Halloween costumes, but then
Mm-hmm.
Matt Jaren died because he got old and rather go to fancy parties right now.
Damn.
Actually, Japan had the same Splatfest, fancy party versus costume party. Fancy party also won. And for Europe, it was black tie event versus fancy dress party. Black tie event takes the W here. I'm curious why Europe didn't get fancy party versus costume party, to be honest.
Maybe just
But
like costume. I don't know. Maybe costumes isn't in there. But Jaren, I'll be honest. I'm not sure what the difference between a black tie event and a fancy dress party
same,
is.
same. I'm not cultured enough for that. This is
Mhm.
too European for me.
Uh-huh.
But Matt,
Mm-hmm.
let's move on to the second last Splatfest of the Splatoon 1 era.
Mm-hmm.
For North America, we have Early Bird versus Night Owl. Matt,
Uh-huh.
I feel like this specifically is one that if you were to ask me during the heyday of Splatoon, I probably would have picked the winning team Night Owl. But
Yes.
if we're asking 2024, Jaren, Matt, I think I have to be Early Bird now.
Oh no. Jared,
Matt,
you're
are
showing
you?
your age.
I'm old now, Matt. I'm old now. But your team Night Owl,
Mm-hmm.
and I was talking about Julian the other day about WoW
Uh-huh.
and how, man, thinking back of those times where we would play WoW until like 3 a.m., or even those moments where we would play take off our headphones and hear the birds chirp.
Mm-hmm.
What a time, Matt! What a time
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when our group was a bunch of night owls. But now I'm an early bird, Matt. I'm an early. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to sleep in during the weekends now, which
Damn.
is the biggest shame for me.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, Matt, for Europe this round, second last round of Splatfest, we have World Tour versus Space Adventures. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is also something that changes with time for me because in the Splatoon heyday, I might have picked Space Adventure, but as a old man boy and the idea of space scaring me, I think I have to go with the World Tour.
Oh man, I think in both cases I would have been Space Adventure.
Oh, fair enough, Matt. Fair
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
and rounding off with Japan, we have Choco Rooms versus Choco Cones. Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to pick because I don't think I've had either, especially when I went to Japan. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
so I turn to you. What would you pick during these for the Splatfest? And do you agree that Choco Cones be the victor?
Jaren, can I know that like Japan has the whole thing or like, oh, which one do you prefer between like the cones and the mushrooms?
Yeah.
Jaren, I can't tell the difference. They're both basically the same to me.
Oh man, I couldn't even tell you what they were. But
Mm-hmm.
rounding off the Splatoon 1 era, Matt, we have the final
Mm-hmm.
Callie versus Marie,
Uh-huh.
where the only thing I remember about the Splatfest was I remember reading a suggestion by a user, I believe it was either on Reddit or Game FAQs, I forget,
Mm-hmm.
where Callie's choice should have been Marie and Marie's choice should have been Callie. But
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
Callie, this was a Marie sweep.
Yes.
Marie won in all three regions. And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
if you were to look at my Nintendo Switch profile right now, of course, it's Marie. It's always been Marie. I'm a Marie boy.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
where do
Same.
you fall? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So
I'm
you're a
the same.
Marie boy too.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Callie. I feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, 0-3. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
is Callie the Pokemon Red of Splatoon?
Seems that way, Jaren.
Oh, man, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, there was a lot more Splatoon 2 Splatfests.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was a really good idea right now, but Matt,
A lot. Uh-huh.
maybe we can take our picks for a few of them if anything sticks out to you. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
while we scan this list, what do you think of Splatoon 2 Splatfest run not ending in Pearl versus Marina?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I would have expected that it stopped there, but looking back at it now, I'm pretty sure that Splatoon 3 doesn't do it either. So, I don't know, unless they run it again towards the end of Splatoon 3's lifetime.
I think Splatoon 3 is still ongoing with their Splatfest, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They are.
Okay. But yeah, let's cut. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
if it was Pearl versus Marina, which team would have you been on?
I think I would have been Team Pearl.
Oh, you're a Pearl boy. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at my first alt on my Nintendo Switch, there's only one avatar there, and that's Marina.
Oh,
So,
mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm taking a look right now for the Splatoon Splatfest, and we do have some kind of repeats
Yeah.
from the first one. And Matt,
Mm-hmm.
let's take a look.
Mm-hmm.
One of the repeats was from a Japanese one, in that we saw squids versus octopus. Obviously, the same thing for Splatoon. I guess the basis of Splatoon in general. We saw Squid taking the W in Splatoon 1. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about Squid taking the W for all three regions in Splatoon 2?
You know, it makes sense when I'm thinking about it, that I'm assuming they're like, representing between squids and octopus like in game. But I just realized that this could also be a food question, and I think I would have leaned octopus now that I'm thinking about it that way.
Okay. Matt,
Hmm.
oh, if this was a food question, oh man, I love me some squid though,
Hmm.
but I feel like I don't have octopus enough where I probably would gravitate towards octopus for food.
Hmm.
But love me some squid. Matt,
Hmm.
I'm looking at the Ninja Turtles collaboration right now and not sure how I feel about this run
Hmm.
where Matt, the first Ninja Turtles collab for at least actually the results were kind of the same for both North America and Europe, but the first matchup we had Raphael versus Leo.
Hmm.
And then the second matchup we have Mikey. Oh, no, this actually makes sense. Okay. So Matt,
Uh-huh.
Raphael versus Leo, which team are you on?
I think I would have been Team Leo.
Matt,
Hmm.
I think I grew up as a Raphael boy, but I think in
Hmm.
2024, I think I am also Team Leo as well.
Hmm.
And then we have Mikey versus Donnie.
Hmm. I think I would have been Team Donatello here.
Yeah, Matt. I
Hmm.
liked Mikey growing up too because he had a skateboard. Actually, and Matt, Mikey was the party dude.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I think this is also one of those when I was younger, I would gravitate towards Mikey. I think older, I would gravitate towards Donatello. And the victory of the two, we have Raphael versus Donatello, Donatello winning. And I think, how do you feel about kind of that tournament style of Splatfest? Because I don't think they've done it since.
It's kind of jarring to see it the way it is,
Hmm.
but I think that's actually an interesting way to do it. I'm surprised they didn't do like a losers bracket to see between Mikey and Leo.
Okay. But Matt,
Hmm.
since this is borderlining a food podcast,
Hmm.
Matt, let's look at the first Splatfest for Splatoon 2 in cake versus ice cream.
Hmm.
Uh, this happened in North America and Europe, with the same winner being ice cream. Matt, where do
Hmm.
you fall?
I would have been Team Ice Cream as well.
Matt, I love me some ice cream. We actually walked by Laura Seacourt the other day, and Matt,
Hmm.
do you associate Laura Seacourt with chocolate or Super Kid ice cream?
I associate it with chocolate.
Oh, really? I associate it with Super Kid ice cream because that's all I ate from Laura Seacourt growing up.
Hmm.
And Matt, I still love me some Super Kid,
Hmm.
but I don't think I've had Super Kid from Laura Seacourt recently. And I'm gonna be honest, anything that resembles Super Kid in grocery stores, I've never. It's never hit the same, Matt. It's
Uh,
never hit the same.
to be honest, I've never really been a fan of Super Kid ice cream.
Really, Matt? Were
Hmm.
you not a Super Kid growing up?
Not really. Like I don't like the taste of artificial banana.
Oh, fair enough.
Uh
But
huh.
Matt, it balances off with the other artificial flavors found in there, which I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But like I think the banana for me was just too strong in Super Kid that I never really gave it like a lot of chances.
Okay, Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
let's just fire through all these and comment where we think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mayo versus ketchup, with Mayo being the winner. I'm Team Mayo, Matt.
Team male for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have flight versus invisibility, with flight taking the win.
Yeah,
Matt?
same. I would have been Team Flight as well.
Yeah, I think I would be Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of overall enjoyment, I think I would get Team Flight,
Mm-hmm.
but if I was slightly more petty,
Uh-huh.
I think I would gravitate towards invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
man, I think my biggest fear with invisibility is getting trapped somewhere in trying to fulfill my petty revenge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that scares me, Matt. Being stuck somewhere
Mm-hmm.
invisible.
Uh-huh.
But with flight, at least we're flying around.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Vampires versus werewolves. Maybe I'm not sure if this might have been a Halloween centric one, but Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I think just vampires took the W here.
Yes.
I think I'm team vampire between the two. Not that I actually like this matchup, But this is a lesser of two evils for me,
Uh
just because
huh.
I don't really have an attachment to either or.
I see. I think it depends on where I'm looking at this one from. If it was like, do I prefer vampires or werewolves? I think I would have gone team werewolves. But if
Mhm.
it was which would you rather be, I'd rather be a
Oh,
vampire.
that's actually fair, man. That's actually fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I prefer vampires, and I guess I'd rather be a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we had a lot of those good times in Saturday morning adventures
Mm-hmm.
with the Vampire the Masquerade runs.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
need to draw attention to the European Splatfest for this round because I have a weird tangent to go on.
Okay.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
front roll versus back roll.
Uh-huh.
Which front roll taking the W in Europe? But Matt, do
I
you
don't know
have
how back roll lost. I
Matt?
was just like a backflip, right?
No, I took these as somersaults.
Wait, I thought somersault was just a different word for like flips.
Matt, no,
Uh
isn't
huh.
a somersault where you kind of tuck in your knees and then you push yourself forward and then you just roll over?
Oh,
That's
okay.
a somersault, right?
I guess so. I always just thought that like they were synonyms for each other.
No,
Is that what synonym means? I can't remember anymore.
backflip, you're actively like with a backflip, I picture you jumping and then doing a flip. With a
Hmm.
somersault, you're just rolling on the ground. And I
Oh.
guess like this is yeah, you're rolling on the ground. That's how I took it. But
Oh, okay.
Matt, the
I
reason
think I
I brought
understand
this
front
up,
roll versus back roll now. I think front roll makes more sense. I think rolling the way that you've described the somersault backwards probably looks kind of weird.
Matt,
Hmm.
I could never do a front somersault growing up because that scared me for some reason. But
Hmm.
I could always do a back somersault, which I'm surprised I kept doing as a child because Matt,
Hmm.
when you do a somersault, you're supposed to use your hands as support, right?
Uh-huh. I guess. Yeah.
Where you tuck your knees in, you push yourself forward, and then you have your hands to offset, I guess.
Hmm.
As a kid, I would, and Matt, I'm going to be honest, I was the hefty kid growing up, just to put that in perspective.
Hmm.
But when I did a back somersault, I would never use my my hand. Sorry, I was like actually making the motions when describing this to you. But I
Uh-huh.
would never use my hands as support. So it was me rolling back and then putting all the pressure on like the back of my head and
Yes.
my
Yeah.
neck.
Uh-huh. Same.
And Matt, I'm surprised I didn't break my neck growing up.
I mean, I don't know how you support yourself with your hands if you're doing like a backwards somersault or back roll.
And I specifically remember the student helper or like the helper teacher at the time when we were doing this in kindergarten and me doing a back somersault without the hand support and just the the dumbfounded look on her face because I specifically remember that and then her going I guess just do that one more time and then you're done for the day. Matt, I don't
Uh-huh.
know, man. I'm just using these Splatfest, um, you know, matchups to really trauma dump onto you. But Matt,
Hmm.
next up on North America, we have sci-fi versus fantasy.
Hmm.
Fantasy winning.
Hmm.
Matt,
Hmm.
I think this is one of those lesser of two evil things again, just because
Hmm.
in terms of preference, I think I rather, and just genre in general, I think I rather engage in a sci-fi, piece of media rather than a fantasy piece of media. But
Hmm.
uh, where do you fall kind of between the two?
I mean, I think I'm the opposite. I like fantasy media,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I just am more neutral towards sci-fi.
Fair enough, Matt.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
Um, moving on, we have sweaters versus socks. Matt,
Hmm.
sweaters winning in North America. Yeah, I think I prefer sweaters. Don't get me wrong, I like me a good sock, especially with funny designs. But
Hmm. Hmm.
I think overall, I prefer. I'm team sweater.
I think when I think about this, I specifically think of sweater as like a pullover sweater.
Hmm.
And I think if it was like pullover sweater versus socks, I think I would have been socks.
Okay. Especially Matt, a good pair of socks in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, feels good, Matt. Feels
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we have action versus comedy with comedy. Matt, this was actually all three regions once again.
Mm-hmm.
Action versus comedy, comedy winning in all three regions as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I tend to agree with this. I probably would have picked team comedy if given the choice.
Yes. Jaren, before we go on to the next one, I do want to talk about one of the Japan ones that was, I guess, like technically a couple Splatfests back from the one we're
Oh
on,
yeah, yeah. Go for it.
which
Go for
is
it.
with lemon and without lemon. Jaren, I hate it when people like squeeze lemon onto shared food.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was gonna ask you, what do you think the context with lemon or without lemon is? But if we're doing food, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I'm
in
assuming it
terms
goes
of
with karage, but like I'm just thinking
oh, that
about it
makes
in
no
general.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, shared food. Yeah, in a shared environment, you can't do that. That's rude, man. That's rude. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
with lemon, especially sometimes people go overboard with lemon too, and that it hurts my stomach. And I'm not a
Uh-huh.
fan. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I guess now that we're on to it, say someone orders a group table, you know, order of calamari for the table.
Mm-hmm.
How much lemon do you prefer to be on that calamari?
Zero. Jaren, I
Same,
don't like
same,
lemon
same,
on most foods.
same,
Mm-hmm.
big same, the
Mm-hmm.
biggest same. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do really. Matt, I
Mm-hmm.
like lemonade, but
Yeah.
chances are, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Another aside.
Uh-huh.
Once, when my partner's mother met our dog for the first time,
Uh-huh.
uh, I think as a joke, she offered our dog a lemon, and that visual goof is something that we goof about so much.
Oh man.
Where Matt,
Uh-huh.
I'll admit it, I'm a dog talker. I like
Yeah.
to do, baby talk to our dog.
Uh-huh.
Where every time we go visit my partner's parents, I tell our dog, "Are you excited to go see Grammy? Because she'll probably give you a lemon." And then I give myself a good chuckle, Matt.
Nice.
This
Oh.
episode's so fucking dumb. Matt,
Uh-huh.
moving on, we have money versus love yet again,
Uh-huh.
and Matt does. Yep, the power of love. Over. Not only did it win in Japan, but it also won in North America.
No, Jaren,
But
you need the power of money.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the European equivalent right now, and it says Gurk out versus Gurk in,
I don't know what that
uh,
means, Jaren.
and Gurk out won took the W here. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Googling what Gurk means,
Mm-hmm.
or at least I typed Gurk into Google. First suggestion is Gurk. Second suggestion is gherkin, a pickled cucumber. And third is gherkin versus gherk out. Which Google search should I proceed with?
Jared, I'm doing it as well. If I'm like trying to understand this properly, I think that might just be what they call pickles.
Let's see. Gherk in versus gherk out. Let's go to Wikipedia. What is this? What's a gherk? Gherk. Man, Googling on the mistake zone is premium audio content. I don't even know what this is, Matt. Is it pickles?
I
Whatever.
think it is.
If any of our friends know what gurks are, please let us know. But
Uh-huh.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
moving on, we have chicken versus egg, with chicken taking the W in both North America and Europe.
Jaren, this better be a food question, because they're like egg is scientifically correct if it's like what came first, and
Right.
it's tilting me that if this was a science question, I would be very angry. So this has to be a food question, and I think chicken is correct if it's a food question.
I like me some eggs, Matt. I like me. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
I would take fried chicken over eggs any day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
For North America, next one we have baseball versus soccer, with baseball winning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, This is a no question for me.
Yeah, same. Like that. This would have been a lesser of two evils question for me, and it would have been
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah, I think I've been to more baseball games than I have with soccer games, so I probably would do baseball as well.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping the Ninja Turtle ones because we did. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we have pulp versus no pulp with pulp winning. I'm floored by this.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's talking about orange juice, and
Yes.
I prefer it with a little bit of pulp.
Growing up, I hated pulp, but now I'm okay with. I'll take orange juice in any form. Matt, I have 3 bottles of orange juice in my fridge that I should probably drink, and I will probably drink a glass after this call. But I probably would have picked no pulp. I still probably would pick no pulp, but I'm not above pulp in general. Skipping squid versus octopus because we did. Matt, fork versus spoon, and
I'm floored,
gonna lie.
Jaren. Uh-huh.
every time I see fork versus spoon in any capacity, I always think of that Australian Simpsons goof. Good goof. Good goof. But Matt, sorry, which team did you pick?
Jaren, I would have been Team Spoon.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, man. Actually, no, I probably would have been Team Fork. I like being a good fork.
I think a spoon is like a bit more versatile for me than a fork.
That's fair, Matt. That's actually fair. Where, yeah, nope, that's fair. I don't know. I'm thinking what I use most, like more often than in home, but I think between chopsticks, fork, and spoon, I think I do use them equally. Plus, I love cereal and ice cream, which I need a fork for.
Wait, you eat your ice cream with a
sorry,
fork?
Spoon. Sorry, Matt, it's late right now, and I'm also dumb because I rolled on my neck when I did somersaults growing up. Matt, we have retro versus modern, with modern taking the W.
Yeah,
Matt,
I think I can agree with that.
Yeah, honestly, this is, I guess so. I have no actual allegiance to any. We have trick versus treat, the Halloween one, I'm guessing. Matt, I'm all about the treats.
Same.
The amount of times I say out loud a week, man, I love treats. Because, Matt, you know we have to have that daily treat, whether it's a food item or just treating ourselves in general. I'm a treat boy. Treat also won in Japan and in Europe as well. Not treats all around the world. The North American Splatfest next one was salsa versus guacamole, with salsa winning. Matt, I'm a guacamole boy.
Yeah, same. I'm honestly surprised that like salsa won here, but
Yeah, same. If given the choice for 2, I'd always pick guacamole, especially for chips. But Matt, if we're at Burrito Boys, if we're at Chipotle, I'm picking salsa because I'm not paying extra. But I wanted to bring up the European one as well, because I'm not sure the context, but for the context for me, say you have a plate, Matt, with different food items. Do you eat your favorite part of the plate first, or do you save it for last?
I save it for closer to last than the first.
I think for me, I'll try to eat them equally, but towards that, when you get to the last bit, I'm always going to save my favorite thing for last.
Jaren, when you eat a sandwich, do you eat like the perimeter, like crust first, and then the middle?
Yes. If it's a square, like if we're talking square bread, yes, definitely.
Nice.
Yep. Matt, same. Like, this is why we're best friends on the Mistake Zone.
Jared, I honestly do that for burgers too.
You know what, Matt? Let's rewind right now. Matt, when it comes to pizza, how do you eat your pizza? Is what I'm asking for.
I mean, I think I eat it like a normal person when you go from like tip to crust.
Really?
Do you go the other way?
Matt? Okay, I think for me, I'll eat the tip first. Just my first bite has to be the tip. But then after that first bite, I do the 180 and then I'll eat the crust first because I want to save the rest of the pizza for last.
But Jared, that's the handle, the ear.
I'm holding it from the bottom, Matt. I'm holding it from the bottom.
Oh
Matt,
man.
what do you think? What did you think of that pizza commercial growing up that dunked on people who ate pizza with fork and knives?
Jared, I think that was like almost a Streisand effect for me.
Yeah.
Where after I saw the commercial, I wanted to eat my pizza with a fork and knife because it seemed cool.
Modern or retro advertising for you, Matt. Hero versus villain was the next one, and this was also same for Europe with the same winner, which was villain.
Kind of like going against what I said about Autobots and Decepticons, I think I would have picked Hero here.
Yeah, fair enough, Matt. Fair enough, Matt. I think no, I was an edgy teen. Not that we played this while teenagers. I probably would have picked a villain. But in 2024, I would probably pick villain in reference to all the villainous manga that I read.
Classic.
Matt. So this was the same. Oh, actually, Japan had hero versus villain, so villains won all regions as well. And the next one was also had between all three regions, which was Matt. Family versus friends, with friends winning. All three regions. Matt. I think just me being sentimental, I think I probably would have picked Team Family if playing here.
Okay.
Not that I hate my friends, but I think I just in terms of sentimentality, I have to pick Team Family.
Jaren. Of course I'm gonna be Team Family because Jaren, I don't have friends, Jaren. I have family. Jaren, you gotta rap. Good old
Matt,
commentator.
we're Team Family. We're Team Tuna Mayo. Matt, where's the 40 weight or 50 weight Splatfest?
Oh man.
Man, Matt, remember when Subin was on the mistake zone and he explained what that meant was?
Oh man, he did. I don't remember what he said though.
Thanks, Subin. I also don't remember.
Jared, all I remember from that episode is that Subin used to street race.
Yep. Matt, moving on. I know this is becoming a beefy boy episode, so let's round up Splatoon 2 at the very least. We have pancakes versus waffles for both Europe and North America, with waffles winning in both regions. Matt? I think at my core, I'm a waffle boy, but I love me some pancakes.
Yeah, I think I just like waffles because it has a crispness to it that I really like.
Don't get me wrong, I love me some pancakes, but if I had a choice between the two, if we're at Denny's, Matt, I'm probably picking a waffle.
Actually, I think if we're at Denny's, I'm gonna pick a pancake.
Yeah, actually, that's a bad example. that was all. I just thought, Matt, I need to go to a Denny's. Let's go to Denny's next time we're together.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. I'm done.
Moving on for both. No, actually, all three regions too had Knight versus Wizard, with Wizard winning in all three regions.
That tracks to me.
Yeah, I think Matt. I think I also am Team Wizard, Matt, because one. We grew up with the wizard hat. I put on my robe and wizard hat meme. Two, the Wizard classic film. And yep, I guess those are my only.
Your two touch points for Knight and Wizard.
I think I rather watch the Wizard than play For Honor, if that tracks. Hare versus Tortoise in all three regions again, with Hare winning in all three regions. Matt, I loved turtles growing up, so I had to be Team Tortoise.
Yeah, same.
But Matt, for both North America and Europe, we had time travel versus teleportation.
Jaren,
with teleportation winning. Matt, you started off. Matt, which team are you on?
I cannot believe teleportation won then.
Really?
Why would you not pick time travel?
Fair enough, Matt. Because the butterfly effect is scary, Matt.
Oh man.
And Matt, if we had teleportation, oh Matt, if we had teleportation, do you know how much food and more food I'd be eating a week.
Oh man, Jaren, I would just be like food tourisming if I had teleportation.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
what's a narwhal?
It's like a
Narwhal?
whale with a horn,
Oh.
or not a whale, a seal with a horn.
Why did people pick that over unicorn?
I mean, I think it's because like narwhals are real. I don't
Oh.
know.
I think people, Matt, in
Uh-huh.
the Splatfest unicorn versus narwhal, I think
Mhm.
people just liked the word narwhal or didn't
Narwhal's
know
a
what
good
it was.
word. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but Matt,
Mm-hmm.
Europe had kid versus grown up. Sorry, Squid Kids. Um,
Oh man, it's a good
and
one.
then, oh man, I don't know. The chart I'm looking at on Wikipedia is kind of weird because I think Japan had an additional Splatfest. So,
Did they?
moving on,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we have chaos versus order and chaos winning in all three regions again. Shout out to Bay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I know Japan before this one, Japan had no pineapple versus pineapple.
Damn. Hate
And
to
I'm
see.
guessing this is pizza
Uh-huh.
related.
Mm-hmm.
Where Matt, I'm not above pineapple on pizza, but it's one of those things where I don't actively seek it out.
I like pineapple on pizza. I think that's like one of my preferred pizza toppings.
And then Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we ran it back. Mayo versus ketchup in all three regions again. And Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
same thing with udon and soba from Splatoon 1 in Japan. Running it back in all three regions, the opposite one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ketchup won in all three regions this time.
Mayo got too cocky, Jen. Mayo got too cocky.
Damn. But Matt,
Mm-hmm.
speaking about running it back,
Mm-hmm.
in all three regions, we had chicken versus egg,
Mm-hmm.
and chicken continuing to take the W here, similar to what they did earlier on. Matt,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love me some fried chicken.
Same. Same.
And then we are running it back with trick versus treat once again. Treat also winning again in all three
Mm-hmm.
regions.
Mm-hmm.
And to end it off, Matt,
Uh-huh.
our Mario related closer, we have the Super Mushroom versus the Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt,
Uh-huh.
I understand why Super Mushroom won in all three regions,
Yes.
but I personally have to be Team Superstar,
Mm-hmm.
mostly because Matt,
Mm-hmm.
music I associate with the Superstar iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I think music alone trumps whatever reason people would pick the Super Mushroom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What team are you on, Matt?
I think I had the exact same reasoning as you, and that's why I also would have ended up in Superstar.
Fair enough, Matt. Fair enough. And I'm going through real quick the Splatoon 3 Splatfest. They did do the Idol Showdown at one point,
Mm-hmm.
with Shiver versus Fire versus Big Man, with Shiver winning. Matt, I probably would have
Mhm.
picked Shiver as well.
Yeah, I would have been like split between Shiver and Big Man. I think I would have picked maybe Big Man.
Shout out to Fire. But yeah, I think with Splatoon 3 Splatfest, we discussed this a few times, at least the early ons, back in our heyday of Splatoon. Kind of just looking at it at a glance, I see Matt, money and love return once again, but this time fame entered the fray.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just friends and family returned once again with solo being an addition now.
I mean, Jared, let's
But
just
Matt-
like burn through these. Yeah.
Okay, let's bring Matt. I think we did rock paper scissors before. I couldn't tell you what I picked initially, but
I
Matt,
think I picked Rock. Uh-huh.
yeah, I picked rock. I probably would pick rock. Rock was the W here. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
this was we have gear, grub, and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Jared, I think I picked Fun here.
I think I also I don't know, Matt. If only we can go back to previous episodes.
If only, if only.
I think fun would have been mine as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know what I picked. Going on, Matt, I remember this one, the Pokemon related one, grass versus fire versus water. Of course, I picked fire.
Yep, same.
Pokemon Red Boy. We lost to water.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember that Splatfest and losing a lot.
Yeah, I think that was my last Splat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the last Splatfest I took part in. We have spicy, sweet, and sour. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
Sweet took the W here. I think I like me some spice, but I think I would have to go sweet here.
Yeah, same, same.
Moving on to chocolate, we have dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate, which won the Splatfest.
Yeah.
I like me some good white chocolate, Matt, but I probably would have picked Team Milk Chocolate here.
I think I would have picked Team White Chocolate. I think I would have picked Team Dark Chocolate before Milk Chocolate.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, I like me some dark chocolate as well. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I like me chocolate all around.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we had Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, versus Aliens and Bigfoot, with Nessie winning. Man, they were really reaching for here. Matt,
I mean, I think this one makes sense because it's all like
this one makes
not
sense,
cryptids, but like
it
I don't
makes
know what
sense.
word these would be. Yeah.
Fair enough. I probably would have picked Aliens, I guess.
Yeah, same.
Aliens
I would've
scared
been
me growing up.
Aliens.
Matt, we have Power, Wisdom, and Courage, with Power winning.
I'm surprised Courage didn't win this one, to be honest, Jaren.
Same.
I mean, I would have picked Power as well, but I'm surprised Courage didn't win this one.
Yeah, I think I probably would have picked Courage here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I remember this one because there was a hubbub on the Reddit with vanilla versus strawberry versus mint chip.
Jared, this was insane. I don't understand this mint chip being the one that's in there when... Yeah, no, I don't understand why mint chip was the pick here.
This is crazy. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if we're talking ice cream, I probably would pick mint chip of the three. I think I like mint chip ice cream.
I would have picked strawberry.
Matt, did I tell you? I don't actually like chocolate ice cream.
Yeah, same. I
So-
don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't like chocolate cake. I don't like brownies. I think when chocolate is the base, I'm not really a fan of the thing.
I think chocolate, I don't know. There's just something about chocolate ice cream that I just don't like. I like me some chocolate cake. I love me brownies, but I don't know. There's something about the taste of chocolate ice cream that's just too much for me. But money, fame, and love, as I mentioned before, money won. Zombie, skeleton versus ghost, Matt, with ghost winning. Matt, growing up, I loved skeletons, like the skeleton aesthetic,
Oh, true.
where I think Kid Me would have picked Team Skeleton, but 20 this is where it's hard for me, Matt. 2024 Jaren, as much as he loved skeletons as a child, on one side we have Ollie from Hololive, who I adore. And then on the other side we have Gengar, who's my favorite Pokemon. So I don't know who to pick, Matt. I don't know. I just don't know. I probably would have picked Ghost in this
Yeah,
situation.
Team Ghost.
Matt, we have Handshake versus Fist Bump versus Hug, with Handshake winning.
Can't believe Fist Bump didn't win, Jaren.
Can't believe it. You hate to see it.
Hate to
Matt,
see it.
you hate to see it. Friends, Family, and Solo, with Solo winning.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah,
would have
that
picked Solo as
tracks.
well.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. So let's go with the latest one. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Matt. Yeah, I think I have to pick Friday.
Really? I would have picked Saturday.
I think there's just something about Matt, I have Friday meetings, which I hate, but just the idea of Friday means your possibilities are endless to me for some reason. So that's what I pick. But Matt, let's end it off with the latest Japanese Splatfest.
Yes.
In red bean paste versus custard versus whipped cream. And Matt, is this in regards to Pon once again?
I don't think so. I think this is just Japanese desserts in general.
In general? Okay, fair enough. Matt, I love red bean. I know it's not for everyone, but I personally love red bean. Matt, I would have been team red bean regardless. Where do you fall here?
I would have been team custard, I think.
Oh, fair enough, Matt.
Jaren,
I love me some red bean. Yeah.
I like that. What do you call it? I like that like whipped cream one, because I think someone pointed out when I was kind of just like reading about the Splatfest, like because this was the very most like recent one, is that whenever a Splatfest includes a white color, the white color usually wins because of the meme pick. Because when you use it, it looks like jizz.
Yep. Oh man, I remember the first time mayo was brought up, and then likewise when a chocolate was brought up for obvious reasons. But Matt, somehow we made it through a Splatfest episode. That was both a beautiful walk down memory lane, but also a train wreck with a side of me trauma dumping right now. But Matt, if there's one thing we've learned this episode, it's Matt. People sure love squids. But Matt, with Splatoon 4, do you think they'll keep 3 idols and 3 choices, or do you think we'll go back to 2 idols and 2 choices?
I think they're gonna go back to 2. I hope they don't go up to 4.
4 would be too. You don't see an idol group?
4? Okay, you know what? 4 would actually maybe be more interesting because then the Splatfests can all be tournament brackets.
Oh, that's a good point. True. But realistically, I guess, yeah, realistically for the next Splatoon, do you see them going back to 2 main hosts or idols?
I personally would prefer that they go back to 2 main hosts or idols just because of the Splatfest stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the Try Splatfest when we actually did play back when the game first came out.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I can definitely see why people wouldn't like it.
Fair enough. Like me, Matt. Like me. But that was a beefier episode than I thought it would be, Matt. There was a lot of Splatoon Splatfests. Actually, real quick, Matt, real quick. You know how North America and Europe had the Ninja Turtle one?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was a Hello Kitty tournament one as well. Matt, we had Hello Kitty versus Cinnamon Roll.
Yep,
Hello Kitty took the win. Then we had My Melody versus Pom Pom Purin.
Yeah, I think I would have gone Pom Pom Purin.
With Melody winning. And then Matt, we had Hello Kitty versus Melody with Melody winning. Matt, why was Hello Kitty robbed?
Jared, you know what? Maybe we're just not plugged in to the Japanese mindset.
You're Matt, fair enough. Even Matt, unfortunately, we're not kawaii schoolgirls. We're just broken old men. So I guess this doesn't appeal to us, Matt. This doesn't appeal to us. But you know what appeals to us, Matt? The Mistake Zone. And me thanking you for joining me once again, even though you're in Japan. I don't know what groups we're trying to make right now. But Matt, thank you once again for joining me and editing this podcast. And Matt, editing all the Vault podcasts too before your trip. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jaren, thanks for hosting and bringing the Splatoon Splatfest episode idea forward.
Matt, I don't know if this was one of my better ideas, but it was either this or us trying to play push the button, and I think we made the right choice this episode.
Honestly,
Matt.
Jared, Splatfest is basically push the button when you think about it.
This basically is Matt. Just to get it out of our system, I'm gonna look up push the button.
Jared. I'm down to do one, but we haven't recorded all of our Vault episodes, so let's not burst the whole idea here.
Matt, I don't even know where to find push the button because I googled it and it brought me to a Jackbox game or website. So I need to do more research before we actually consider this. But
Jared, I found the site. Here, I'll drop it for you.
Okay.
You will get $100 and it will keep doubling every day. But after a month has passed, you will have to answer a question from this website every day. Wait, what? This is dumb.
Well, I guess this is out of our system. Oh, man. Matt, I think we need to workshop this a bit. We need to workshop this.
I mean, Jaren, if we do that as a full episode, we have the power of editing to take out the bad ones.
Fair enough, Matt. Fair enough. But, Matt, I hope you and the boys are enjoying yourself in Japan right now. Matt,
Me too.
What am I doing right now? I wonder. But I guess we'll We'll find out when you guys return. But
Mhm.
until then, Matt, please take it away.
This has been the Mistake Zone, and we're definitely not out of Splatoon content.
We'll always be skids, kids, and or squids, Matt.